So do you guys remember that slick looking rod that I showed you a couple of videos ago? The JDM Shimano Bass One XT? Well, can you believe it's already here and I already got one? Now, I got this from Japan Lure Shop, but the thing is, it wasn't on their website. I actually had to email them and special order it, and they finally got it in last Friday and shipped it off Friday, and I got it today, which is Monday, which is insanely fast shipping and actually perfect timing. And you'll know why here in just a few minutes, but let's go ahead and unbox this rod and show you guys what it looks like, because I'm very anxious to see and feel what a budget JDM Shimano rod is all about. All right, here we go. Okay, so I think he taped down the back so this rod wouldn't slide up and down. So let's go on this side. Well, I guess I should have read everything first, but it says open right here. All right, here we go. Yep, he sure did tape, or at least attach this string to some tape so it wouldn't move around. All right. Okay, so this rod does come in a rod sleeve, and I don't know if you guys can see, but he gave some Fuji hook keepers as a free gift. Now, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but this rod sleeve isn't, I guess, the highest quality. It's like this thin material. I don't even know how to describe material, but definitely a lot of AliExpress rods come with better rod sleeves than this, but I'm not too concerned about it. I rarely ever use them. Okay, here's the tip section. Oh yeah. Now, just to clarify while I remove this bubble wrap, just because a rod comes from Japan, or is JDM I should say, and it's a Shimano or a DAIWA or a well-known brand, doesn't automatically mean it's gonna be amazing. Wow, look at that. But so far it looks amazing. Boom. Well fellas, I'm happy to report that this rod looks just as amazing in person as it does in those pictures. Now of course, hopefully you guys saw that this is the 6'6" light bait finesse model, 2-piece, and the grip is indeed two-tone. It's black on this section, the butt section, and then the handle section is gray, and they are indeed two different materials. This is a very coarse, rough EVA, while the handle section is much smoother, much softer feeling. And wow, just look at this perfection reel seat. Now it's not as fancy as some of the models that are more expensive, where you got the cutout that exposes the blank, but I'm not too worried about it. And then of course the exquisite forenut with the gold accents, and the blank has a gloss coating all the way up to here, but then after that it's pretty much just a raw finish. Now I'm not gonna lie, holding it in hand, it doesn't feel like a super lightweight, hollow, crispy rod. Now this is supposed to be, I think, a fast action, and I think that's about right. Now the handle section is a bit short, and it feels kind of tip heavy right now. I'm not sure what it's going to feel like once I mount a reel on it. But keep in mind, we have to remember that this is one of the lowest end Shimano bass rods. So we definitely can't expect Poison Ultima feel and performance out of this rod. And speaking of that, to my door, this rod was something like $85 or $87 shipped. So it's actually cheaper than I thought it would be, which is incredible. So I brought out a very similar rod to do, I guess, a hands-on field comparison. And that is the 6'8" light powered Shimano Majestic, which is a Chinese and Southeast Asian market rod. Now if you were interested in this rod, I did a whole video on it. I'm going to leave a link in the description, but this rod turned out to be a gem. And when I'm holding them side by side and even switching hands, despite being about 1.5 inches longer and having one more guide than the Bass One XT, as well as having a blank that's gloss coated, the Majestic actually feels lighter and a little bit more crisp and floatier than the Bass One XT. And even though the reel seat on the Majestic is about 1.5 inches higher up the rod blank, when I hold both rods in the same place and do the comparison, you can definitely feel the Majestic is slightly lighter, not as heavy feeling as this Bass One XT. But does that mean that this Bass One XT is gonna suck in performance? Well, it's time to find out. And what better place to test out this new Bass One XT than here in South Florida in the Everglades, complete with an alligator right there staring dead at us. So hopefully we'll catch something down here in the Everglades and put this Bass One XT rod to the test. But the reel that I've chosen is the 2016 ALDEBARAN BFS with its gold accents and gray color. It is a perfect match. I got 8-pound fluorocarbon, and let's get to fishing. All right, first lure is going to be the Rapala Ripstop, about 1/4 ounce. Let's see if they'll take a hard plastic jerkbait. Shit, I almost blew the spool up. Brakes a little too loose. Dude, this gator is coming for us. I don't know if you guys can see him. Oh! No way. You didn't tag your drag. Oh, he's pulling drag. What the hell is it? Oh, he's under this rock.
You better get in the water.
Oh, god dang, this thing is strong. What the hell is it? Oh. Am I recording? Oh.
You see that fish jump?
Okay, I'm gonna have to let this fish get out from under this rock, hopefully. My drag wasn't tight and my thing wasn't. God dang. Oh! We don't even know what kind of fish that was. It broke off. So guys, I have no idea what kind of fish that was. It was extremely powerful. Pulled drag, went up under a rock, and that's all she wrote. Broke me off. But it looks like the jerk baits are working, so we're gonna do it with this Rapala X Wrap, and let's see what happens. Oh, there's another one. Oh.
You got it.
It's a snook. It's a snook.
No way.
Oh, I think that's a snook. Oh shit.
Yes.
Oh my god, snook on a... Holy shit, guys.
Nice.
Where's the lip gripper? Someone give me the lip gripper.
What's the lip gripper?
Oh shit.
No. Pot him off of.
Holy shit, he's strong. All right, guys. Caught one of my bucket list fish, a snook on bait finesse. The ALDEBARAN BFS with the Bass One XT. Fought like a demon. These fish are so strong. I'm gonna get them hooked and get them back in the water, but my first ever snook on bait finesse. Okay, so it's time to finish up this, I guess, short-term review of the JDM Shimano Bass One XT rod. But first I want to explain about what happened with that first fish that broke me off down in the Everglades. Now, first of all, my drag was too loose for a fish that powerful, and second of all, I guess I didn't tighten down the lock nut on the rod all the way, so that cost me a little bit of time when I should have been fighting that fish. And I'm only going to assume that that fish was a much bigger snook than the one I caught. But either way, I'm super happy with how the Bass One XT performed, as it easily handled that much smaller snook, and it allowed me to check off one of my bucket list fish. Now, I originally went down there to target peacock bass, and while I wasn't successful in catching one of those, my cousin was, but I did catch a small snook, which was on my bucket list. So this review is going to be specifically for this particular model of the Bass One XT. And of course, once again, that's going to be the 6'6" light bait finesse 2-piece. Now, there are a few other lengths out there, but they have different tapers, or actions as some of you may call it. And I'm going to go ahead and put, I guess, a graphic up on the screen for you guys just to let you see what's available in this Bass One XT lineup in case you're interested in getting one. Right now the models are kind of slim, but since this is a brand new lineup, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep adding models as the years go by, which I hope they do. I hope they come out with a longer, like 6'10" version of this rod. But anyway, this particular Bass One XT is the epitome of the origin of bait finesse. The origin of bait finesse started in bass fishing, where the Japanese used relatively short, like mid 6-foot rods that were light powered, fast action, stiff and sensitive, and they used those rods to cast and pitch lighter, weightless plastics, just like this. And this is the lure that I caught, I believe, those 2 bass on, which is the 4-inch Zoom Centipede, and with the hook it weighs about 5 grams, so right in the sweet spot for this rod. Now, I was casting heavier jerk baits as well. Well, not heavier jerk baits as in bigger size, but the jerk baits I was casting were heavier than this lure. I believe the Rapala ripstop is like 1/4 ounce, and then that other Rapala jerkbait was probably a little bit more than 1/4 ounce. And this rod handled those weights perfectly, and in fact, I'm probably going to use this rod as a travel jerkbait rod. And that's because it's got a short handle, it's got a short length, and it's got a nice fast action, which I'm going to say is on the faster side of fast, which I like for jerkbaits. Now, the handle is short for my taste because I have longer than average arms, but keep in mind this is a JDM market rod, and the Japanese are a little bit shorter on average, so this is designed for them. Now, if you remember, I took the rod out of the box and I kind of did a side-by-side comparison with the Shimano Majestic, and I mentioned that the Majestic felt a little bit lighter and I guess better balanced than the Bass One. But once I mounted this 2016 ALDEBARAN on this rod, it felt like they were made for each other. It was so comfortable, and it actually balanced really well with this ultralight reel that I was actually pretty surprised. And as you can see, the color scheme is perfect for this 2016 ALDEBARAN, even though you're supposed to match this rod up with Shimano's Bass One XT reel. Now, as far as sensitivity, I'm happy to report that it feels just as sensitive as the Majestic from what I remember. So if I was to rate the sensitivity from a 1 to 10 scale, I'd give it about an 8.5. I could clearly feel when bass took the weightless Zoom Centipede on this Bass One XT. So I guess to sum it up, I mean, for the price I paid for this rod, which was before, you know, the PayPal fees in the mid $80 range, I am extremely happy with this purchase. I mean, what rod can you get here in America for $80 to $90 that looks this good and performs this well? So if you're interested in getting a Bass One XT for yourself, you are gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to probably either look on eBay and hope that a seller is selling them there, or you're gonna have to email a Japanese tackle shop that ships overseas and see if they can procure you one, which I don't think will be a problem since this is, you know, a budget rod that is going to be produced in great quantities. Alright guys, so it looks like I found yet another piece of budget tackle that turned out to be a gem, meaning that it performed much higher than its price would suggest. Alright guys, thanks a lot.